If the meek are blessed and inherit the earth, shouldn't we know what meek means? Okay, first off, I'm going to focus on the word meek rather than the word humble, which some translations use in Matthew 5:7. But I've noticed that all of these different Beatitudes are really about our attitudes. They're about these character traits that we ought to be having as Christians. And I can't help but notice that that's not how the world sees us. I mean, the world is typically seeing Christians as either pushovers or as bullies. And why do they see us that way? Because we are, or at least we can be. I mean, too often, we as Christians are acting like doormats and just letting everybody walk all over us. Or we're putting off this holier-than-thou facade. And do we really believe that that's how Jesus acted? And if not, why aren't we acting more like him? And when it comes to the word meek, in Matthew 11:29, Jesus actually calls himself meek. Now, you could go ahead and go online and find a definition of the word meek, and what you would wind up seeing is things like from vocabulary.com that describes a person who's just willing to go along with whatever other people want to do, or even in Merriam-Webster's online dictionary where it talks about them being deficient in spirit and courage. But see, here's the problem. That doesn't describe Jesus. At least not my Jesus. Because don't forget what we read in John chapter 2 about Jesus making a whip of cords and how he drove out everybody with the temple and he was kicking over the tables of the money changers. Lacking courage? Nah. Just going along with whatever? No way. A doormat? A pushover? Nope. Was he weak? Hardly. See, I think a lot of the modern definitions of the word meek actually miss the point entirely. See, if we travel back a long, long time ago in an America far away, the 1828 Webster's Dictionary had a completely different definition, and it's actually a definition that looks more like a biblical definition. You can still find that online, and what it refers to is meek being somebody who is mild of temper, not easily provoked, and given to forbearance under injury. Which, if you didn't know what forbearance means, it really just means self-control. And it also talks about how the meek are submissive to the divine will and they are not self-sufficient. That is a better definition of Jesus. That is a better definition of meek. And meek is not weak. The difference between weak and meek is that the weak person does not have the strength, whereas the meek person has the strength but chooses not to use it. And that's because meek isn't weak. It's strength under control. I'm empty. Now, one of the other Bible characters that we would read about is Moses, and in Numbers 12, it talks about how he was more meek than everybody else on the earth. And I don't know about you, but when I think of Moses, I don't think weak at all. Like when I think about all of the things that Moses did, when I think about all of the things that Hebrews 11 tells us that Moses did, I think about how he turned down the riches of Egypt to look for the reward that was awaiting him in Christ. I think about how he led the children of Israel out of Egypt, how they traveled through the Red Sea and into the wilderness being guided by God the entire time. See, that's not weak, but yet he's described as being meek. And really, meekness means that we submit to God and we control ourselves. And that's what Moses did. And if it sounds a lot like what Jesus did, it's because it is. I mean, think about him in the garden where the soldiers are coming to get him. Do we really believe that he couldn't have escaped that if he wanted to? But he didn't want to do what he wanted to do. He only wanted to do what the Father wanted him to do, which is why he said, if there's any way that this cup pass over me, let it be done, but not my will, yours, Father. Speaking about cups and self-control, I really shouldn't. It's probably a better choice. So let me just wrap up with this thought. If you're the type of person that lets people walk all over you, stop it. And if you're the type of person that walks all over other people, stop it. Neither of those are meek. Neither of those are like Jesus. We need to do what Jesus did. We need to be meek like Jesus showed us. We need to submit to God and control ourselves. See, I long for the day when we learn to be meek and not only change the way the world sees us, but change the way that we see ourselves. So let's be meek. Let's be blessed. And let's inherit that earth. All right, there you have it. Like it if you did, share it if you want to, subscribe if you want more. And until next time, stay blessed, enjoy God's best, and have a great day. By the way, I really am trying to be a little healthier, and it's a challenge. Self-control. Oh, and I decided not to leave the house because it's hot out. Actually, it's not so much hot as humid. Even worse.